ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ।
Dear friends, welcome back to the study of the Mundoka Upanishad after a break for a few weeks' time. As you know, I have a bad habit of being very repetitive. But to defend my bad habits, I have very strong supportive, I would say, sections of our scriptures why we should be repetitive. Let me put it to you from the Patanjali Yoga Sutra standpoint. What is memory? How can memory be consolidated? How can memory be on call? And how can you expand the capacity of storage of your ideas in your brains? Patanjali's Yoga Sutras has developed this idea very strongly. So when I say I have a bad habit of being repetitive, I have very strong grounds to defend myself from the scriptural point of view. But let us be a little serious now, not in a lighter way. The Mundoka Upanishad has 3 Mundakas, 3 primary chapters. Let us call them chapters. And each chapter has 2 sections. So the whole Mundaka has 6 sections. And each section takes an aspect of our search for spiritual life and to reach the goal of spiritual search. And it has been placed in such a manner, it covers the whole gamut of questioning from A to Z regarding why we should study the Upanishads, what are the Upanishads, where did it come from, is it relevant to our life, if so how, and if it decides the goal for us, apart from the standard pattern of life and living, is it justified? Is it rational? Is it based on common sense? If so, teach me how to reach it. This is what it is. We have completed the study of the first 4 chapters, first 2 chapters and 4 sections. Please bear with me if I make a little mistake. 2 Mundakas, 2 chapters, 2 sections each, 4 sections, and we have covered 44 shlokas out of 65. The 3rd Mundaka or the 3rd chapter is to be started now. Before I start, I will take 2 sessions if not 2.5 sessions, to revise, to repeat, and to refresh our memories. Firstly, what is an Upanishad? Why it is called an Upanishad? What does it mean? You have asked me to read Mundoka Upanishad. You are teaching Mundoka Upanishad. Please firstly describe what is a Mundoka Upanishad. Is it a novel? Is it a drama? Is it a biography? What it is? So let us start from this. What is a Upanishad? And why this Upanishad has been named as Mundoka Upanishad, and what it is all about. Upanishad word has 3 components, 3 parts. Upa, Ni, Sat. Upa, Ni, Sat. Upa means proximity, closeness. Closeness in what manner? We are physically close. We are emotionally close. We are reasonably, as far as our reasoning is concerned, we are close. And from the point of view of ideas, we are close. Now, closeness with certain ideas. Upa means closeness, proximity, nearness, capable of assimilating, capable of absorbing. All these ideas, please, goes by the word Upa. Upa means samipya, closeness, nearness, proximity. Proximity, as I told you just now, can be physical proximity, physical closeness, emotional closeness, rational closeness, closeness with certain ideas. That is, for that context, Upa here means closeness with certain ideas which will emanate from studying this book. It is now in a book form. So let us say, the book is a storehouse of ideas. Upa means, please kindly educate yourself, train yourself, prepare yourself to be very close to these ideas which emanates from study of this book. Why? What will happen to me? Why should I? I'd like to have a motivation. I would like to have a purpose. I would like to know what I stand to gain. What is the profit? I'm spending time and energy and memorizing and understanding and all that. What is the gain? What is the benefit? He says, the benefit is such that when you achieve the benefit, it is in totality. Ni is nisreshena, nisheshena. That is, in totality, something will happen to you which will never ever come back to you again. So these 2 words, Upa and Ni, now put together means we are exposing ourselves such ideas contained in this book form, coming close to which, absorbing which, assimilating which, something will happen to me. What will happen to me? Nishat. Shat means totally destroyed. It is different from the word sat, which is ever existing. It is Murdhanashva. The three shakaras we have in our alphabet, as Sanskrit alphabet, it is Murdhanashva. Upanishad. That Murdhanashva with Takara, Shat means total annihilation, destruction, never to come back again. Nisheshena. What does it mean now? Upanishad. This book, known as Mundaka Upanishad, it will emanate such heaps and heaps of ideas. If you come close to it, proximity to it, to such an extent, you are absorbing it, you are assimilating it. This process of absorption, assimilation of the ideas emanating from this book is such, will in totality never to come back again. It will not recur back again. In totality, something will be totally annihilated, totally destroyed, removed from you. What is that? The ignorance of my true original nature. I know as of now, I am Sridharananda. This is my name. This is my shape, size and form. These are my qualities. And this is my utilitarian value in human society. And I am happy with these qualifications or these identities, because these identities are good enough for me to live in this world. But you keep on saying, I am, I exist, I am, that is why I am aware the world is. I am, the world is. And all that I know as I am is good enough to interact with this world. So I know who I am, how I am. So what is the big problem? What is the question? I know what I am, but the question is, I say I am good enough, then I say my body, my mind, my life, my intellect, my sense of individuality, ego, and my sense of separateness with everything of the world. I am, you are. With these two as my basis, my life flows. And I keep on pursuing this, pursuing that, pursuing this, pursuing that. I do not know in reality who am I. I say my body, that is, the body belongs to me. I am the owner of this body. Who am I? It is a glaring question in front of me, but somehow or other we are so busy, we have no time to think of it. This ignorance of who am I, this ignorance of what is my true original nature, this ignorance about myself will be totally annihilated in such a manner, totally destroyed in such a manner, it will never come back to me again. I will be poised in the majesty, in the magnificence, in the excellent, in the glory of my true original nature. I am the Atman, I am the Brahman, I am the divine. Upanishad means if you come close to the ideas emanating from this book, known as Mundaka Upanishad or any other Upanishad, the Upanishad means if you expose and assimilate and absorb the ideas that emanate from the book known as the Upanishad, ignorance of your true original nature, which has a strong, deep hold on you, that ignorance will disappear once and for all, never to come back again. This is the name Upanishad, and this is the idea of the word Upanishad, that we should now mentally prepare ourselves to assimilate, to absorb the ideas emanating from this book. If I assimilate and absorb, ignorance of myself or the perennial question, who am I, what am I, will be answered. The ignorance of my not knowing it, that ignorance will be washed out totally, completely in such a manner, it has no residue left, it will never come back again. This is the meaning of the word Upanishad. Now, when I say I have a very strong support from the scriptures, what happens? I keep on thinking this is the meaning of the Upanishad. Giving you an worldly example, you have seen farmers ploughing their soil, ploughing their land. And they keep on ploughing the same groove over and over again. It goes deeper and deeper. After a time, he sees water flows through that groove. Water flows through, does not outgrow the banks, overflow the banks. It flows through a channel. You can pass water through it, you can pass any fluid, liquid through it. Manured water, liquid manure, so on and so forth. The base is done. How did he create it? By cutting a groove in the soil. Cultivation of an idea is a groove in your brain. And the brain has limitless capacity to have those ideas memorized, running through that groove. More repetitive you are, the groove becomes deeper and deeper and deeper. Time will not be able to erase it and to rub it. I am the divine. I am the Atman. I am the Parama Atma. I am the Holy Ghost, the Spirit. I am the Sunyam. Each of these words have a particular meaning which emanates from this book. The words are different, but the subject matter and meaning of each and every different word is the same. So, by repetitiveness, abhyasa balat, that is a literal word, the force generated known as force of habit. How does a force of habit develop? By repetitive performance of similar activity, emotional, physical, rational, over and over and over again, creates that groove, and it becomes a sharp memory available to you on call. I want to think of it, and it comes over. You have read this Upanishad or the Gita in such a manner that you don't need to refer again. It is all there. This is the purpose of study of this book known as Mundaka Upanishad. Now we know what Upanishad is. Why it is named Mundaka? Mundaka means a razor, a shaver, with which you shave. I have a head full of hair, absolute thick and hard and curly. I don't see my skull. The razor have the capacity to shave off the hair and allow you to see the skull, which is not seen to you. It is not visible to you, but you knuckle it down, it makes a sign, and you know, I have a skull, but I don't know how it appears. Why? It has been covered up, and that covering gives me an ignorance of what my skull is. I don't know. Mundaka means a shaver. That is, it will shave your ignorance about yourself in such a manner that once for all you know who you are, and that ignorance will never come back again. Mundaka, a shaver of ignorance, is the name of this Upanishad. This has 3 chapters, A to Z, and this being the Mundaka Upanishad being the latest in the series of Upanishads, closest to us in point of history. It has summarized almost everything that all other Upanishads have. Subject matter of all Upanishads is the same, but approaches are different. This, for all practical purposes, is a summary of all other Upanishads. Precise, correct information, though sometimes it has to refer to the past, which is very obsolete or difficult for us to understand. For that matter, Acharya Shankara and others have written commentaries on it. And the latest commentary we have is from the present day Swamis, Swami Vivekananda and others. So dears, this is the introduction to the word Mundaka Upanishad. This is first. Why the name is Mundaka Upanishad? What does it mean? It means it is a basket full of ideas. If I expose myself to those ideas, coming close to which I assimilate, I absorb. And that assimilation and absorption is such a manner that my personality undergoes a sea change, and I say I am as of now, but I do not know who am I, what am I. If you expose yourself to these ideas are as sharp as a razor, and it will shave off your ignorance, throw it out forever, never to come back again, and you will be poised in the majesty, in the magnificence, in the excellence of your own true being. I am Atma Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi. That is the end result of the study of the Upanishad. So for that purpose, dear, as because we are all busy, as because we are not academicians, if we choose one Upanishad and if we follow it as it expects us to follow, it's good enough for us to liberate ourselves, to get free from this ignorance of my true original nature. This Mundaka says it is as sharp as a razor which shaves off in such a manner that you do not know that this is my skull on which my hair have grown, and I have shaved off, and I know this is my skull. It will rehabilitate you in the glory of your own excellence, your majesty, your magnificence. This is how Mundaka Upanishad is to be understood. Next is, I would like to be assured this is not a figment of imagination. A brainy chap has written all that. Oh, it is a fiction. It's a fairy tale. How do I say that? So, the credential of the authorship has to be established. As soon as you know, oh, this is Obama writing his biography, oh, it's wonderful, because I know Obama. He will write the truth and nothing but the truth. This is a theory written by such and such an historian, famous. Also, there's no question, I will accept its authority. The Upanishad is in a book form today. What is the author? Who is the author? And what is the authority of that author? So the Upanishad starts with a shloka, apart from Mangalacharana, seeking the blessings of the divine in all particular form of energy to protect our studies, to protect us from pitfall and discontinuation. Let us continue without any fail till we reach the goal. That is Mangalacharana. Next is the credential of the author or the authority of authorship. So the first shloka answers to your question. Brahma devanam prathama sambhavuva vishwasya karta bhuvanasya gopta sa brahma vidya sarva vidya pratishtam atharvaya jeshta putraya praha. He says, look, the primordial energy, which is absolute in nature, that primordial energy is seated or rested, harbored or sheltered in the absolute. This is the first concept which you must understand, because the philosophies which accept the existence of God has the same thing to say in different languages. What is our language? The language is, try to listen very carefully. The language is, there are 4 stages of human level of awareness, which you are directly experiencing. So there's no question mark there. Yes, I experience. What is that? One is known as dreamless sleep. Shushupti, dreamless sleep. What happens? The whole world and the awareness of the whole world disappears from you in that type of sleep. But when you wake up, you take quite some time to orientate yourself. What is the time of the day now? Where am I? What am I doing? You take quite some time to come back to the normalcy of wakeful state. That is an experience you have. The next experience is Swapnavastha, that is sleeping with dreams. You can't deny that. And what happens in dream? You do not know when it starts. You do not plan and program what you will dream. It happens automatically. And you react to those happenings. You laugh, you smile, you walk, you run, you weep. You do so many normal things of wakeful life in your dream. And your body responds. When you wake up, then your experience of normal wakeful state tells you it is a myth, it is a dream. It has no legs to stand upon. It is unreal. It's an imagination of my brain, a play of my sanskaras, all those, that's matter. But that's an experience you go through. And then Swapna, Jagrata is wakeful state. Shushupti, Swapna, Jagrata. What is Jagrata? I am wide awake. And like a serial in TV, after you go through Sushupti, when you wake up, you connect yourself with the time before you went to Sushupti and after you wake up. You create a bridge. Oh, I was very tired. I was very exhausted. And I was totally relaxed. That is why I had that wonderful dreamless sleep. I had nothing. I remembered nothing. The world does not exist for me. But when you wake up, you have a memory of that joy, that peace, that tranquility of dreamless sleep, and you say, I had a dreamless sleep and I enjoyed it enormously. Sukhamaham kinchit navedisam. In the wakeful state, you are in a position to connect yourself, relate yourself to the time previous to your dream, previous to your dreamless sleep. And the continuity goes on. There's no break in your awareness of I am, and I was dreamless sleeping. I was sleeping with dream, and now I am awake. These are the three states we humans generally grow through. There's a fourth state. This fourth state is what we try to achieve at, what we try to attain, what we try to reach. And it is reachable, it is attainable, it is achievable, it is doable. Why? People have reached there. People like you and me. By a well-imposed, disciplined procedure, disciplining the personality, the mind, and all the faculties, including the body, the emotion, and rationality, and your mind. You manage it in such a manner that you have a penetrative strength developed in your mind. And with that, you hold your mind on your object. And you penetrate the veil of ignorance, and you know, I am what I am. It is experienceable, not describable. Turiya avastha, the sublime state. It's known as Turiya avastha. It is achievable, attainable, reachable, doable. Because thousands before me has achieved that. Of all faiths, not only Hindu, all faiths. There's no religion which has not produced a knower of truth. And they are producing. So, dears, when we say these are the four states, how do I then justify this world? This infinite diversity and myself. If that is my absolute nature, but this has a hold of reality on me. As long as I do not reach that Turiya avastha through Nirvikalpa Samadhi, this is all real to me. I can't deny that. To take me there, we say, this is unreal, Turiya avastha is real. Why unreal? Because it is changeful. Whatever is changeful means it came in point of time, it stays in time, it will disappear in time. but Turiyavastha is beyond time, space and causation. If that is so, how do I place this world and myself? How do I? So the concept is real, and that has been exposed in the interaction between Sri Ramakrishna's Vedanta teacher, Swami Totapuri Maharaj, and Sri Ramakrishna himself. I will come back to that before I close today. Let me continue this argument. So what happens? It has been realized to be a fact of life that absolute, as long as I do not reach that absolute, I have to accept a primordial source of energy known as Mula Prakriti or known as Maya Shakti, Ajnana Shakti, Avidya Shakti. Where has it to be? It has to be there in absolute. How long does it exist? As long as I am in the domain of Maya. Please try to understand this. That is why in all the scriptures, especially I would say in the Bible and in the Upanishads and etc., that absolute Holy Ghost creates. He has that power to create, and it doesn't go to buy elements here and there. He creates everything for himself. His will is enough. He wills it and it happens. Let there be light, and there was light. In the Upanishads, they make it a little more graphical. He says that Lord God of the universe felt very lonely, very alone. I am alone. I would like to be many so that I can play with myself. Eko aham, I am alone. Bahushyam, I would like to be many so that I can enjoy my company in diverse form. Having this will in him, the desire in him, the motivation in him, the incentive in him, he creates. Eko aham bahushyam prajayaya. He wills it, and this whole cosmos comes. It comes out of him, and he has the power to withdraw. Withdraw it how? By leading you to that state of absoluteness. You can reach there. So, you can be Maya Adhina, under the thumb of Maya Shakti. You can be Maya Mukta. You see the effect of Maya, but it has lost its charm on him, on you. I am not going to be tempted. I know it is a temptation. That is Maya Mukta. Then it is Maya Adhisha, controller of Maya, Bhagavan. And finally, Maya Atita, the absolute where Maya does not exist. Now, dear, this concept, it is said as Saguna Sakara Brahma. Saguna Sakara Savikalpa Brahma equal to known as Ishvara. That Ishvara, according to the Yoga and Yoga school of philosophy, Sa Purusha Vishesha Tasya Sarvajnata Bijam. He is an entity, but he is different from you and me, because in whom Maya Shakti hibernates. Just the poisonous snake goes into hibernation. It is almost dead, but it is not dead. And after a while, having shed his skin, it comes back with its venom. It is in the snake and it comes out of the snake. So, dear, when it is said, what is the authority of this Upanishad that you are claiming that these ideas are such, exposed to which my ignorance will be totally absorbed, totally destroyed? What is the authority? Is it a fairy tale? Is it a imagination, a novel, a fiction? So no, it has emanated from God Himself. And what does the Bible say? He made man in His own image. And here what he says, Tat Srishtva, having created this cosmos, it was material. Tat eva anupravishat. With his spirit, with his being, he created this cosmos. And he entered it through and through. He saturated the whole universe with his own being. Tat srishtva tad eva anupravishat satya tattva bhavet. Nilayam cha anilayam cha. There is nothing out of it. Everything is in it. Or he is in everything. In another word, it is Vishnu, Narayana. These are the same meaning. He is to be found in every receptacle. What is the receptacle? The name, the form, the quality and utilitarian value. That is the receptacle, and he is the life source there. He is the essence there. So to start this Upanishad, the Upanishadkar says, don't question my authority. And he says, it has emanated from God Himself. And the Puranas have many stories. Purana has many stories. From his commander who he poured that Amrita, Rishi Vilos had it and he propagated all. That is Purana. But let us concentrate ourselves to the philosophical aspect. And from that, from generation to generation, Paravaram, the superior and the inferior. It came from the teacher to the taught. And the taught became the teacher and he taught again. The teacher and his student. That is how he came to Rishi Angirasa. That's the first shloka. It takes away from you the very doubt of the authority, the authenticity of the authority. You are sure now it is not a fiction, it is not a fairy tale, it is not a novel, it is not a human author. It has this wisdom, these ideas have emanated from the Lord God of the universe, the Supreme Being. And it has come down to you and me from generation to generation. And previously, in the olden days, there was no book. It was all memorized. Not only the text, the meaning and interpretation of the text was also memorized, so that nothing goes off the rails. It is right on the rail. Brahma Devanam Prathama Sambhuva Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta Sa Brahma Vidya Sarva Vidya Pratishtam. This is the next item which you have to think of very properly. Brahma Vidya is being qualified by this word. It is the basis of all Vidyas. Sa Brahma Vidya Sarva Vidya Pratishtam. It is the base, the foundation of all knowledge that has been flooding this world. The base is Brahma Vidya. What is that? I am that. Aham Brahmasmi Tattvam Asi. Thou art that. I am Atma Brahma. Aham Brahmasmi. This is the goal. And it has come down to you from sage to sage to sage. And the author of this Upanishad is Rishi Angirasha, who is a descendant of the wisdom of God. He has the last person to write this book, and it exists for you and me, and if we can preserve it, it will exist till the end of civilization. So this is how, dear, the Upanishad starts. So, what is Upanishad? What is its authority? What is the authenticity of that authority has been covered. Now the third point is, how was it propagated? It was propagated by a person who is a successful person from the worldly point of view. That successful person from the worldly point of view, being at the apex of his success, he had time enough to look around. And he heard elsewhere, because in those days, these ideas were the talk of the town, not what the share market is about, as it is today. What are the political movements or what is the share market showing? That is what the talk of the town today. At that time, the talk of the town was these ideas. So that man was known as Shaunaka. His father's name was Sunaka. Sunaka Zapatya Shaunaka. That's immaterial. That man was a highly successful person. Mahashala. In one word, it is covered. He had heard elsewhere, there is something knowing which all aspiration towards know and knowledge is an incentive to achieve, all that will come to an end. So he goes to Angirasha and asks him, Sir, is there anything knowing which everything else becomes known? Now, dear, in English, there's the word knowledge. The translation of that word knowledge in Sanskrit is jnana. But in Sanskrit, there's another word, vijnanam. That word can be nearly translated as experiencing. Kasminno vijñāte sarvamidam vijñātam bhavati. Is there anything in this world, sir, to experience? Vijñāte means having vijnanam. Having achieved that vijnanam, will you kindly tell me, is there anything in this world experiencing which my thirst to know further, to achieve further, to gain further, to be more and more, I would say, worldly, achieving worldly wealth, will come to an end? I will know everything and there will be no incentive for worldly achievement will remain. Is there anything? That is how the Upanishad starts. So let us stop here. Although I took very long time to start, but it will be easier later on. This is the introduction to the study of the Upanishads, and I'll request you not to forget to keep alive, alert in your mind. Thank you, dears. Thank you. We'll meet again next Saturday. Thank you.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.